I'm Becky, and I wanted to talk about my struggles with anxiety. Um, I know these days so many people have anxiety in so many different ways, um, and I feel like the word gets thrown away around quite a lot actually. Um, Obviously, there is for everything there's a scale of different things, but I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I am up there, close to a 10, with how bad I suffer from anxiety. A lot of people don't really, I think I come across like I wouldn't suffer from it. I'm quite confident, I'm really friendly, I love being around people. I don't know, I just don't think people would expect it from me. Um, so I just really wanted to talk about how I've suffered with it and what I've done to overcome it, because I know that when I was really bad, I would have loved to have had or just known someone that would have been in the same situation. Um, so I'll just start from the beginning. Basically, it started about 5 years ago. Um, my mum got diagnosed with cancer, um, and it was terminal, and she was given a few months to live. Now it turned out that she managed to live for a year from diagnosis, which is obviously brilliant. But I would say it was a good 5 months into it that I started to suffer, and that wasn't necessarily anxiety, but it felt more like panic attacks. So the first thing that I remember is I had gone to chemo with mum for the day, and I decided I wanted to go for a run afterwards, and I went to go for a run, and I just I all of a sudden felt like I couldn't breathe. Um, I just felt like everything was closing in around me, even though I was in like an open space. And that's where it really started for me. And it just got progressively worse. It got to the point where I couldn't leave the house because I don't even know what it was that was worrying me, but I just didn't want to leave the house. Um, and that's where it all started for me. I think everyone that has anxiety and suffers with panic attacks, there is a trigger to it. And I wish I would have known that, because at the time I just thought, okay, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, I had absolutely no idea. And now, 5 years later, I can reflect back on it and I know that there was a trigger for me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if anyone does suffer from anxiety or panic attacks and you don't know how to overcome it, then try and think about what it is that has triggered that off, because I guarantee it's always something. And now it took me a good year. It was after mum passed away actually that I went and got help for it, and that started with counselling for me. Because not only obviously I was dealing with this, but I was depressed, and again I didn't realise at the time I used food to help me. I put on 3 stone, I think it was. And when you're in that situation, you just don't really realise, I don't think, until something. I think for me it was my sister maybe that said to me, like, I'm really worried about you, you've put on a lot of weight. And obviously, like, she doesn't care what size I am, but because I've always been quite small, like, I guess it's just different for me. So I started going, I went counselling, and I think that did help me in terms of talking about, like, I got a lot of stuff out, because I find I'm quite close and I find it quite hard to talk to people. So for like, if anyone out there doesn't know where to start, I would say Google like some counsellors, or obviously you have to pay for that, but you can go to your doctors and just explain how you're feeling. And obviously going to counselling did help me, but it still didn't, like, I still didn't want to like leave the house or be on my own. And so for me, that is what it is about, and that's what I've realised. It's about being on my own and having people leave me. Like, that is what my trigger is, and I know that now. So I did go on medication because I was like depressed as well, and it's about taking small steps. So you're not just gonna, it's not gonna overnight be okay. And so one small step I did was I started to eat healthier, because when I realised how like unhealthy I was, and it's not even just about my weight, I was unhealthy because I was just eating crap all the time. So I would say take small steps, make a list of things that you could improve. So I did start to eat healthier, and I started to exercise. No, I just did it in my own home because I was anxious. Like, I'm not gonna go out for a run, so I just did like YouTube videos, like followed them just in my own room, and doing little bits like that, and then gradually, obviously, like, I started to feel better, and in hand that comes with losing a bit of weight. Obviously, so I was at uni when this was happening, and I did take a year out of uni because obviously I had a lot of stuff to deal with. So yeah, as I was saying, I did go on medication because I went to the doctors, and sometimes you need to just like, it's not a bad thing to go on medication. I'm not saying that you should do, and that will answer it, but I think there's a stigma about mental health, and I really think if people are more open about it, then there won't be. So I went on antidepressants, and yeah, it's called antidepressants, but that helps with anxiety. And even though maybe at the time I went on the tablets I wasn't depressed, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. If it helps you, then it helps you. And if you had a broken leg, you wouldn't not go and have an operation to fix it, because that is what will help you. So I went on sertraline. I was on the lowest dose, but you know, it just massively helped me. And I don't know, there's obviously some sort of imbalance somewhere, or you know, I just think it's brilliant. If it helps you, then it helps you. So I did come off of it after about a year, and I think it must have been about a year after, it was building up again, that I could tell that I was getting anxious about doing things. Like, for me, it's driving my car. Like, I think I'd had a panic attack one time in a car, and so I just associate that with that, and it's so easily done. And especially when you've been in that way of thinking for a long time, it's so easily done, and it's normal. It's just trying to tell yourself that it's okay, and accepting it, and that's a big thing. So I went back on tablets again recently, and again, like, it's massively helped me. And I'm really lucky, my doctor is actually really good, but I know that, you know, doctors can be a bit like, oh, come on, get over yourself. But you just need to keep going back until you find the right doctor and someone that will understand, and that's half the battle. You just need someone that will understand. So yeah, I went back on them, and again, I feel so much better, still doing like other little things. And if I have to be on them for the rest of my life, then I have to be on them for the rest of my life. And I think it's all about just accepting it. You know, you just need to accept it. And I mean, it's all very well me saying I didn't used to. I used to just constantly think, oh my god, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why can't I just be like everyone else? But everyone has their own issues, like everyone does. It may not look like it on the surface, but you never know. And that's something I've massively learnt, is just don't assume that you're the only person that is feeling like this. And you might walk past someone in the street that is really happy, but deep down they might not be. Like, I'm just as good as the next person to be putting on a front. Yes, I am quite a positive person, and I am always happy, and people know me to be smiley, but there are always other issues. And I think that's why I'm like that with people, because I always give people the benefit of the doubt and the second chances, because I just think like we need to support each other. And definitely in regards to mental health, we all need to be there for each other, because honestly, the amount of people, once you speak about it, the amount of people that are on tablets for different things to do with mental health is massive, like absolutely massive. And I think the key is to supporting people and to having stuff out there that can help you if you need help. Don't ever be afraid to say that you need help. Again, it's all very well me saying it, but I've been through it, and if I could go back in time, I would want someone to tell me, look, it's okay, you know, it's, if you need help, you need help. I'm very independent, and that is what I struggled with, because this form of anxiety made me feel not independent because I couldn't do anything. It was horrible, but just accepting it and trying to work through it really, really helps. So I just thought I would let anyone else out there know that you're not going through it alone. And yeah, thanks for listening.